Welcome to ATD accounting class. My name is Bonaventure. Today I'm going to take you on a topic known as depreciation in accounting 1. First, I will define what depreciation means. So, I can begin again. Sauti. Welcome to ATD accounting class. My name is Bonaventure. Today we are going to look at a topic in accounting class known as depreciation. Depreciation is the loss of value of an asset when used for a very long time. When an asset is used for a long time, it is bound to deteriorate in value. And majorly the causes of depreciation could be physical and others could be economic. When we look at the physical causes, one happens when an asset is used for a long time. It may be due to rust, to erosion, or decay, and then the asset will eventually lose its value. For example, if it is a motor vehicle, in case of an accident, it will be subject to repairs and the motor vehicle will start losing its value. Hence, that could be termed as a physical cause. It can also be economic. For example, the asset may become obsolete. Obsolete happens when, for example, an old product is overtaken by a new product on the market. For example, the first computers are no longer in use because others have come with time. Also, it may be due to depletion. For example, all of you are aware of mining. In mining industry, for example, the mines are eventually depleted over time. As people start working on mines, eventually the materials get depleted and eventually they are used up. But we also have other assets which don't depreciate in value. For example, land. The value of land is always increasing. It does not depreciate in value like other things like motor vehicles, like temples. Those depreciate in value, but with the land it does not depreciate in value. So today we also look at the methods of computing depreciation. We have several, but a few of those methods. One is straight line method. Another one is reducing balance method. The third one is revaluation method. So we look at it, the straight line method, the reducing balance method, and the revaluation method. So, in order to understand what I mean, for example, I will give an example. For example, straight line method. For example, if the value of an asset, the value of an asset is say 100,000 shillings, and then it will be depreciating. If it's going to be depreciating at 10,000 per year, so it means if you want to calculate its depreciation, we will say depreciation we'll say cost over the number of years. If the cost is 100,000 shillings and it will be depreciating at 10,000 per year, 10,000 every year. So it will be, that means in how many, in 10 years time, it will have been completely depreciated in 10 years time, isn't it? If every year, or may I put it this way? If the cost is 100, and in 10 years time, the cost over the number of years, in 10 years time, we divide by 10. In 10 years time, depreciation will be worth 10,000 shillings. It will be 10,000 shillings because the cost is 100,000, and then the number of years it will take is 10 years. So if we divide by 10, then every year depreciation will be 10,000 shillings. Depreciation will now be 10,000 shillings. That is by the straight line method. And 2, by reducing method, reducing balance method. Reducing balance method, for example, year 1, if depreciation is year 1, if depreciation, for example, is 10%, of the cost of the asset, of the cost of the asset. So we say year one cost is 100,000, and then depreciation we will say 10% of 100,000. It will be 10% of 100,000. We will say it will be 10,000. It will be 10. It will be 10,000. That's year one. But year two, we will say 100,000. We reduce by 10,000. We reduce by 10,000, so it will be 90,000. So we say 10% of 90,000. It will be it will be now, depreciation will be 9,000. Depreciation will be 9,000. So I repeat again. Our topic is depreciation. Our topic is depreciation. So I said, when I began this class, I said that depreciation happens when an asset is used over time. It tends to lose its value when used for a long time. And the loss of value may be due to physical factors, and others may be economic factors. For example, physical factors, it may be decay, it may be rust, it may be even accident. But when it comes to economic factors, for example, it may be obsolete. For example, when the first computers came into the market, later others developed, and the earlier ones were discarded in most cases. So you will find that the first one became obsolete. People now went for the new one. Those are economic factors. So now depreciation, as I told you, it can be the methods of calculating depreciation maybe on a straight line basis. On a straight line basis, if an asset is estimated maybe to last 10 years, and the cost of that asset was 100,000 shillings, and if it is to last for 10 years, so we divide the cost by the number of years, so we will know that every year the depreciation will be this much as we go on. That is on a straight line, using straight line method. But we can also use a reducing balance method. In a reducing balance method, if the depreciation the first year was 10,000, so we minus from 100,000, and then we remain with the 90,000. So we calculate again the percentage of 90,000, and then we reduce that one. That's the reducing balance method. But there is also another method, revaluation method. Revaluation method, may I wrap a bit here? Revaluation method. In a revaluation method, revaluation method. In a revaluation method, for example, this is a motor vehicle account. For example, this is motor vehicle account. If the cost was 100,000, but at the end of maybe 3 years, the valuers come and say, now, this one is worth 40,000. So after 3, so balance CD to be 40,000. At the end of the year, maybe they get it to be 40,000. So it means here or maybe it was 100,000 initially, but now, according to the current market, maybe it's 120,000. So you see, it's 120,000. So now revaluation here, it will be 20. Here now it has been revalued to, it has appreciated by 20,000. It means the motor vehicle has appreciated by 20,000. Now it will be 120, and here it will also be 120. So this is this is appreciation. Revaluation. Initially it was 100,000, but at the end of the year it is valued to be 120. So you see, we have an increase of 20,000 shillings of that motor vehicle. We have revalued it to 120. So the estimate is now 120. So we can also look at a question here. There is a question here. I can write it down. For example, our question says that there's somebody called Pell purchased a laptop of 480 pounds, and it has an estimated life of 3 years and a scrap value of 60 pounds. She's not certain whether she would use the straight line or the reducing balance for the purpose of calculating depreciation on the computer. You are required to calculate the depreciation to the nearest £1 using both methods, showing clearly the balance remaining in the computer account at the end of each of the 4 years under each method. Here, there is a laptop. The price is 480, and it has an estimated value of 3 years and a scrap value of 60. So this is what we do. This is what we will do. We will use straight line. We will first use straight line. In the straight line, we say cost minus scrap value over number of years. Over number of years. So the computer, the cost is 480 pounds, and then scrap value is 60, and the number of years are 3. When we divide this, we say 480 minus 60 will be 420. 420 over 3. 3 here is 1, 4. 3 here is 1, 12, 4. 140. So now our depreciation in 3 years' time, it will be 140 shillings per. Depreciation will be 140 pounds, not shillings, pounds. It will be 140. This actually is supposed to be pounds. It will be 140 pounds per annum. This will be our depreciation. It will be 140 pounds per annum. On a straight line method. But when you use a reducing balance method, in a reducing balance method, reducing balance method, now reducing balance method, now we will find a way of going about it. Brenda, what would you say in a reducing balance method?
In our reducing balance method, we will take the initial cost.
Initial cost?
We less the depreciation for 1 year, the 1 year.
1 year.
Let's say for 1 year, the first year.
Initial cost. And then?
We less the depreciation, the per annum, which is for the first year.
For the first year?
Yeah.
Which was 140?
Yeah.
Okay.
To get the residual value.
Initial cost minus the first year depreciation.
Yeah.
So let's see, year 1 depreciation.
Yeah,
Year 1 depreciation. And then in our case we say 480 minus 60. Minus 60. Oh,
minus 140.
140. Minus 140.
340.
It will be
340.
340.
Mm-hmm.
It will be 340. 340.
And that will be for the
year 1.
For the first year.
For
no, year 2. It will be for year 2.
Year 2. Year 2. Cost will be
340.
340.
Mm-hmm.
And then depreciation will be
for the third year.
The same. Depreciation will be the same 140, isn't it?
No,
it will
not
not
be 140 times 2. That will be
280.
280, yeah. So we'll take 340 less 280.
Less 280.
340 less 280.
0.
60. We will get 60.
We will get 60.
Yeah, so
that is year 2. And year 3, no depreciation. What will happen in year 3? What would happen in year 3 if that would be the case? Because because what? The scrap value should be 60. Maybe it is the end, because in year 3 there would be no depreciation then. Yeah?
the computers will wear out.
Yeah? They
will wear out.
Yeah, it will wear out.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the reducing balance method. Do we stop there or continue?
Should I?
Eh?